99X, the Morning X. It's Barnes and Leslie. And a topic that is hot right now, of course, is Princess Kate. And you heard us play her announcement this morning in Sleaze already. If you didn't, I'm going to play it for you right now. But it's got a lot of people talking and a lot of people confused, even professionals, doctors.
Absolutely.
It's just people think it's AI. Some people are, there's all the conspiracies aren't going to die down because of what the royal family did with the whole Photoshop thing. But we want to bring on the Morning X doctor next.
Yes, we have a doctor.
Yeah, because there are even doctors questioning some of the things going on. Let's listen to her announcement. It's less than a minute. Here is the announcement from Friday from Princess Kate.
In January, I underwent major abdominal surgery in London. And at the time, it was thought that my condition was non-cancerous. The surgery was successful. However, tests after the operation found cancer had been present. My medical team therefore advised that I should undergo a course of preventative chemotherapy, and I'm now in the early stages of that treatment. This, of course, came as a huge shock, and William and I have been doing everything we can to process and manage this privately for the sake of our young family. As you can imagine, this has taken time. It has taken me time to recover from major surgery in order to start my treatment. But most importantly, it has taken us time to explain everything to George, Charlotte, and Louis in a way that's appropriate for them and to reassure them that I'm going to be okay.
Very sad no matter how you look at it. So that was her announcement late in the day UK time on Friday. Let's bring on Dr. Saju Mathew, who is our Morning X doctor. How are you, Doc?
Good morning, guys. Excited to be here. I'm telling you tons of questions regarding Princess Kate's possible diagnosis.
What do you make of it?
Well, here we go. First of all, I want to say what most doctors say, which is I don't want to speculate, but I am going to speculate. And here's the reason. I, first of all, commend Princess Kate on posting this very brave video and telling people that you are not alone when you have cancer. If I were her PR person, guys, I would have gone one step further and just said, guys, this is the type of cancer that I have. She has a huge base of supporters all over the world. Why not tell us now? We're going to find out anyway. But here's the deal. This is what I think possibly happened. She goes through major abdominal surgery. She mentioned the word major twice in her video. So obviously this was a big deal. Maybe she had abdominal pain, bloating. This happens all the time. You go in for one surgery and then you find out something else. We call that an incidental finding. So perhaps, again, she went in for gallbladder surgery, which is very common. And then they do a biopsy because the doctors say, we don't like what we're seeing. They do a biopsy, the results come back. She was in the hospital, by the way, for 2 weeks. That is a long course of action for abdominal surgery. And then she goes home, goes back to the palace, and then comes back for chemotherapy.
Dr. Mathew, why do you think it took so long to make this announcement? Because there were so many conspiracy theories out there with the Photoshop fail and all of that.
I mean, I think that obviously they've been through so much as the royal family, especially with what happened to Princess Diana. So I think that they are very protective of their privacy. But here's the deal. Just like I said at the very beginning, just be honest. Tell us exactly what the type of cancer is, so there's no speculation. And I think that the delay was because Princess Kate had to be ready for the kids to be out from for the holidays. This is the Easter holidays in England. And she wanted a chance to be able to talk to her kids privately. This is a very difficult conversation to have with 3 young children. Again, I am absolutely impressed with how brave she is. I just wish she had mentioned the type of cancer.
Well, even though they're a public family, people are going to argue that she's owed the same privacy, but it's a weird in-the-middle spot. My question for you, as a doctor, a real one, instead of the fake ones like us who try to talk about all this stuff, there are a lot of doctors questioning that something, it just doesn't add up from a medical point of view, what's being said. Do you read between the lines and see anything like that? Does anything stand out to you?
Well, what I do is I take the facts that we've been given. She goes through surgery, 2 weeks, comes back, and then starts this beginning stages of chemotherapies, what she says in the video. Now, exactly what could be happening, we don't know. But anytime you think about the abdomen, it's from the chest all the way down to the pelvis. In women, it becomes a little bit more complicated, Leslie and Barnes, because you have to think about the GYN organs. So not only the pancreas, the gallbladder, the colon, by the way, guys, this is March, Colon Awareness Month. If you're 45 and you've not gotten your first colonoscopy, you should. But colon cancer comes to mind with Princess Kate. Again, speculation. Moving down the abdomen, you've got to think about ovarian cancer. That is also fairly common and diagnosed in the later stages, unfortunately, because we don't have good tumor markers. You also have to think about the fallopian tube, the cervix. There's so many things to consider when you talk about the abdomen and pelvis.
There's so many people don't realize you have to listen to your own body, right? If something doesn't feel right, you should immediately go get a checkup.
Listen to your body. I mean, that's absolutely right, Leslie. And also know your family history. It's what I tell all my family, my friends, my patients. Shake the hand of a good primary care doctor, somebody that you can be honest with, somebody that doesn't blow off your symptoms, and get the age-appropriate cancer screening. So mammograms for women, pap smears for cervical cancer, prostate exams for men.
Talking to Dr. Saju Mathew, who is our Morning X doctor, of course, in-house. And what, I've not heard the term before, preventative chemotherapy. I've never heard that. Maybe I just missed it. I don't know. But what is that? What does that even mean?
So firstly, Barnes, we very seldom as doctors use the word preventive chemotherapy. It's almost like an oxymoron. And let me tell you why. Either you have cancer or you don't. Either you're going to start chemotherapy for cancer or you don't. I think that she was being, it's a layman's term, she probably was just being optimistic. Maybe her doctor said, hey, listen, we did see a few cancer cells. We want to be very aggressive and make sure we eliminate all those cancer cells because we don't see a lot. And we want to make sure that this particular cancer does not recur. But we very seldom, as doctors, use the word preventive and chemotherapy in the same sentence.
If you're just joining us, we're talking about Princess Kate Middleton and her cancer announcement with the Morning X Dr. Barnes, Saju Mathew. Dr. Mathew, how long does preventative chemo normally take?
Right. So I think what we should just use the word is chemotherapy. We know that she has cancer. We don't know what specific type. We don't know the stage. We don't know the organs. So there's so much speculation. And the staging and the type of cancer is key in order to figure out exactly how long chemotherapy could be. It could be anywhere from few weeks, 3 months, sometimes even up to a year to make sure that this cancer does not recur. But typically it's usually between 3 to 6 months. And of course, we have to understand that not only is she going through so much in terms of being such a young, healthy person, she's also a mother, she's a wife, she has to deal with people like us in the public. And chemotherapy can be toxic to your health. The weight loss, the hair loss, the side effects, the nausea, the vomiting. She's got, unfortunately, a long road ahead of her.
And it seems by omitting so much, just because they were finally forced, to come out with it, they're just setting themselves up for so much more speculation, being such a focal point with the royal family that this is just not going to end. And you don't know what they're hiding. I put air quotes by that because they're not being completely forthcoming, which they don't have to. But at this point, the royal family has just kind of screwed this whole thing up with the delivery of the news all the way through.
Right. So, once again, I commend her on this very brave video.
Big time.
I thought that she looked frail. I think that she definitely looks like a patient who's going through cancer cancer therapy. Definitely. She obviously didn't have makeup. She could have chosen to be completely made up and had her hair done and,
she did look
do
frail,
it in a very different. But she looked frail to me. She definitely looked vulnerable. But a very strong woman. I commend her. But again, just like you said, Barnes, why not just start the video by saying, I have this type of cancer.
Interesting.
And she could actually make a huge difference in terms of how people deal with that type of cancer if we knew what she had and not speculate about it.
Right. Well, it's all very intriguing, and we do feel for her. And I don't see her, I guess, that much. So when I saw the video on a phone, also, I didn't watch it on a big screen. It didn't strike me that she looked frail.
And I know they're asking for privacy, and we completely understand that, but there's so much speculation.
Right. And that's the reason. It's such a conundrum. But Doc, thank you, as always, for being on call for the Morning X.
Listen, always enjoy being with you. One last thing, listen to your body. Get your age-appropriate exams. If you smoke, stop smoking. If you drink, drink in moderation.
Thank you, Dr. Saju Mathew. This is the original. It is 99X. We'll see you soon.
Take care, guys.
The Morning X with Barnes and Leslie. 99.